What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Degenerate podcast. We got another week of waiver wire shows for week 6. For the people who are new, I post a separate waiver wire episode for each position. So if you are watching on YouTube, go to my page. There's going to be a separate video for each position. And if you're listening on the podcast, go to my feed. Same thing, separate episode. So let's hop into it, guys. I have 4 quarterbacks for you guys. All of these players are 33% rostered or less, so they should be pretty available in your leagues. I will start off with my favorite, Daniel Jones. He's been a solid fantasy quarterback this year. He's had 3 games over 20 points, and 2 of those games were against the Browns and the Seahawks, who have pretty good defenses. This week, he plays the Bengals, who have a terrible defense. They have allowed over 22 points per game to quarterbacks this year. And Daniel Jones also gives you at least 20 rushing yards per game, which helps with his floor. So I actually like Daniel Jones as like a top 15 quarterback. So if you need a quarterback, go ahead and get him. I think he's going to have a good week. Number 2 is Andy Dalton. He's had 2 good fantasy games out of the 3 weeks he started this season. In week 3, he had over 30 points, and in week 4, he had 18. Last week, in week 5, he didn't do so well. So what it looks like for me is that Dalton will perform good against bad defenses, but struggle against good defenses. That's what it looks like. But this week, week 6, he plays the Falcons, who have allowed over 28 points per game to quarterbacks this season. Number 3 is Joe Flacco if he plays. You have to watch the reports because Anthony Richardson might come back. But if Joe Flacco plays, we've seen him perform for fantasy the last couple of years. When he plays YOLO ball. He takes deep shots all game. In week 4, he had 18 points only playing 3 quarters. Last week, in week 5, he had 35 points. If he plays, he's always a solid fantasy option. Number 4 is Will Levis. It's really gross. He's been really bad this year, but in my opinion, he's the best option out of all the gross quarterbacks on the waiver wire. Like I said, he's been bad this year, but he plays the Colts, which is one of the best matchups for quarterbacks so far this season. They are allowing 24 points per game to quarterbacks this season. So if you are desperate for a quarterback, I think Will Levis will have a decent week. I also want to bring up some streaming defenses for you guys. I have 3 options, all of them 33% rostered or less, so they should be available. My favorite is the Texans because they are facing the Patriots, who are probably the best team to target because they score no points and they give up a lot of sacks and turnovers. Number 2 is the Chargers. The Chargers defense has been solid all year. They haven't even allowed 20 points in a game so far. They cause a lot of sacks, a lot of turnovers, and now they are playing a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. I like that matchup for the Chargers. And then my last one are the Eagles, who really haven't been a great defense, but now they're playing the Browns, who couldn't even put up points against the Commanders defense in week 5. So I think it's going to continue this week. And the Browns have allowed the most sacks so far this season. So, not a great defense, but a great matchup. So those are 3 streaming defenses for you guys. Like I said, I have a separate waiver wire episode for each position. Go check all of them out. If you have any fantasy questions, either comment on the podcast, comment on YouTube, or DM me on social media. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love all of you.